Squid Game on Netflix wrote history with its twists and turns, but the reality version of Squid Game is expected to change the course of reality television. So, what do we know about it? Some say that Squid Game, the challenge, is a nightmare, and for some, it's a must-watch. In either case, it's happening, and people can't keep calm. Brand Reig, the Netflix VP, has recently announced the reality TV show by saying, "Fans of the drama series are in for a fascinating and unpredictable journey as our 456 real-world contestants navigate the biggest competition series ever, full of tension and twists with the biggest ever cash prize at the end." The prize is indeed big enough, with one person getting $4.56 million at the end and the rest of them going home safely. So the show is rather a light take on the series itself. Also, Bella Bajaria, the head of Netflix Global, said in an interview that Squid Game The Challenge is the biggest reality competition ever. Reports are that the new Squid Game The Challenge will be filmed in the UK and thousands of people are auditioning for it. This isn't the first reality version of Squid Game, as before this, a very famous YouTuber gave it a go with 456 players and $456,000. The recreation of Squid Game got about 42 million views in just 24 hours. So it wouldn't be wrong to say that the reality version of Squid Game by Netflix itself is going to blow the internet. On the positive side, when the casting started, it was announced that anyone could participate from across the globe. But for the casting, there are some rules as well. Netflix has opened up a site where all the auditions will be taking place. The site has 3 different categories for the people applying from the US, UK, and from around the world. For being a part of Squid Game The Challenge, you must be fluent in English, and you also need to be at least 21 years old. But the best thing is the video auditions, where the participants are asked to record a video where they'll be sharing their plans with the cash prize. A private jet, a mansion, or an orphanage, you gotta fill them in with the deets. It's also being said that Squid Game The Challenge is going to have the biggest cast ever in the history of reality TV, and that's kind of an achievement. With this sort of hype around it, there's no way that this show will go unnoticed. On the other hand, Netflix released a statement saying, "Win or lose, all players will leave unscathed, but if you win big." On top of that, Netflix is going to add some pretty exciting cameos in the show to make it more interesting. But the show is already gathering a lot of backlash. Emily Baker called the Squid Game The Challenge a dystopian nightmare, so she doesn't seem completely on board with the concept of Squid Game being turned into reality TV. Although people understand that Netflix wants to milk the success of Squid Game, the reality version of the show doesn't seem like a good idea for various reasons. One of them being that the show was originally Korean, and people are worried that Netflix is turning it into just another American spectacle, with the show losing its originality. The prize obviously is good enough, and some fans can't wait for the revival of some dalgona goodness yet again. But the audience was quick to point out some obvious differences between the original show and its spin-off reality show. The first being the language. Squid Game was an original Korean show, but Netflix is looking for people who could speak English, so it indicates that the reality show is going to be in English. A very obvious difference is that Squid Game was meant to be a criticism of capitalism. Yes, it actually was, but people are pointing out how Netflix has completely missed the point of Squid Game by creating an actual game. It's almost as if they read a book about not creating a weapon and then go on and create it. Sounds kind of bizarre, right? People are also pointing out the morality of this show, as dong-hyuk created Squid Game as a cautionary tale. But Netflix simply turned the show into a capitalist pit by making a reality show out of it. For now, Squid Game The Challenge is receiving sort of mixed reviews, and people don't seem entirely on board with the idea of a reality show. But it'll be entertaining, that is for sure. Another very apparent difference between the original spin-off show is that the Squid Game The Challenge isn't going to be limited to the former games. The creators are all set to include newer and more interesting games into the show, but they won't be excluding the fan-favourite games from the original one. So the games might not feel the same and would obviously be a lot less depressing, but they'll be the same requirement of wit and strategies. Get ready to see a whole bunch of betrayals and broken friendships, because that's what Squid Game The Challenge is gonna be all about. Though the creators haven't started filming the show yet, it's expected to start by 2023, and the fans just can't wait for the show to be on their screens. Rieg is considering the reality show a social experiment, as he said, "We're grateful for this support as we turn the fictional world into reality in this massive competition and social experiment." Netflix has also released a teaser and given an official green light by making the teaser exactly on the format of Squid Game. The teaser had the same men in red uniforms, snippets of different games, but above all, lots of money. A great thing about this reality show is that it's going to be completely unscripted, so we'll be seeing a lot of candid moments and emotions, unlike Squid Game Original, which obviously was a fictional portrayal of capitalism. The Squid Game itself is renewed for a spin-off, and Netflix confirmed on June the 12th that they'll be coming back with the Squid Game 2, directed by dong-hyuk. Amid all this Squid Game craze, the announcement of a reality show of sorts indeed has created quite a hype. According to Hwang, the show is a criticism of a false sense of freedom and how we're often treated like puppets. He said in an interview, "In this extremely competitive capitalist society that we live in, we're given the illusion of freedom. It makes us feel like we're capable of anything. However, as we live longer, we realize that we don't have as much freedom in our hands." This statement of Hwang sums up his ideology behind directing the original show. But Squid Game The Challenge is becoming everything that the creators didn't want it to be. Hwang told the media at one instance that the inspiration of this show came from his own life during the financial crisis of 2008. The way he struggled and the way capitalism thrived even during the time of a crisis gave him an idea to make this show. There are going to be 10 episodes of the show and the casting is in progress, but reports are that we'll get to see a lot of big names on the show too. So we gotta wait and see who jumps in. The predictions are that it will be the original cast of the series to come and cheer up the contestants. The creators haven't revealed the duration of challenges, but we're positive that they're going to be longer than the Squid Game, as the show isn't going to be scripted and everything will most expectedly be candid. At this point, fans are pointing out that this isn't the ideal time to introduce a Squid Game reality show because it almost feels like irony. The world is going through a literal crisis right now and people are losing their jobs left and right. Only capitalist organizations are making money at the moment, and Netflix thought it would be an appropriate time to base a reality show on Squid Game, but it doesn't sit right with many people. Food and financial crisis can hit the world at any given moment, but it's ironic how Squid Game The Challenge will pick people and make them complete bizarre challenges for the sake of money. For some people, it's a mockery and a pit full of irony. But people will still be willing to audition for the show because of its overwhelming prize. As stated by Netflix, the stakes are high, but in this game, the worst fate is going home empty-handed. The show hasn't even started yet, and it has already become the center of so many controversies. It isn't going to be good for the promotions of the show. Also, at this point, Netflix can't even go back because the casting is in progress, so it would be a loss on their side. Such controversies aren't just bad for Squid Game The Challenge, but also for the second season of Squid Game. They could affect the popularity of the whole Squid Game franchise, and a name that big can't really afford such bad publicity. Time is going to be the judge of whether people actually embrace the reality show, or it will become just another flop reality spin-off. Though some people are actually pumped to be part of the show and have sent their entries. There's not much news about the actual selection criteria, but it'll soon be announced who's going to be in the cast. For now, it's kind of a tie between haters and applauders, so what side are you on? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching.